Hello everybody, Corey here. In this video, we will be going over the we will be going over the daily roundup for the 20 single stock ETFs. And it is for Thursday, May 23rd. And then we'll have some of the price changes and stuff for YBIT, Ulti, and the fund of funds and stuff as well within here. Hopefully things will load though. I started a little early. All right. So just a reminder, I am not a qualified licensed investment or financial advisor. I just gather the data and present it to you so you can be informed on their trades and holdings and hopefully understand that a little bit better so you can, decide whether you want to invest in these or not, or which ones you might want to invest in for monthly income. Because just a reminder, these are not growth ETFs. And another reminder here that YieldMax ETFs can be extremely risky. So please make sure you understand what you're investing in before doing so. Just to go through the roll up here of the trades. We have a few tickers. Looks like I need to expand some of these with all these trades. With NVIDIA down there, we got big money happening. But for AMZ here, it looks like they brought in about $22,000. GUI, they paid out $160. Misty, they paid out $43,000. And NVIDIA, just glancing at this because I haven't done the trades and holdings video yet. Oh, but you know what? I know what they did. I'm pretty sure they had closed out the short calls and the synthetics, and then rolled them out. But anyway, they ended up bringing in $31.8 million, but they had to pay $41 million to close the short calls that they had, and then they were able to, bring in $72.6 million for closing the synthetics. And then they also brought in premium for their short calls of $7.4 million. So then we have PayPay here. They brought in about $72,000 and Squee $169,000. And then Crash paid just a little bit of money out to close some of their calls. And then here, again, on these next few, if you want to pause it or screenshot any of these prices or anything I have, but I'm not going to read through each one of these. But here we have the net assets for all of the YieldMax ETFs. So what is it? 20, 21, 22, 23, 45, 25. I did that yesterday, didn't I? I'm sorry. So 25 total ETFs. So net assets, outstanding shares for them all, or for all of them. Then we have the current stock price as of the close today, and then the NAV, and then the difference between them. I didn't realize that YMAG and YMAX got under $20 today. And then we have the prices here as far as yesterday's close and today, and the changes here for the underlying. So yeah, we went down, so I can actually sort these. I forget that I've made it so I can sort these. So we only had two that were up. PayPay was up 2 cents, and NVIDIA was up 99 cents, or 4%. MSFO, no change. Everybody else was negative, though. But as you can see at the top, our biggest negative was Misty with negative 6%, or almost $2. AIYY was down 4%. Tesla and OARC were down 3%. And then we have AMDY, Dizzo, GDXY, Apple, Coney, and Zomo were all down 2%. And not to forget those at the bottom, Ulti was down 3%. So the one that's been interesting and has, got my interest lately is our brand new one, GDXY. Because, it's been out, 2 days, and it's at 1867. And you know what? I meant to look at this earlier and I didn't. I don't even think I've added it here yet. I haven't, but I was going to see. So I don't follow. I mean, I've never really looked at GDX personally. I hear about it when I listen to podcasts or YouTube stuff, but I don't actually. Let's see. GDX. Did it add it? That auto correct. It thinks it knows what I want. Nope. Yep. That. There we go. Of course, it's not going to show us much with just 2 days or 3 days. Okay, so I was wrong then. It's been out 3 days. And it's really hard to see that here. Sorry, I probably should have looked at this beforehand. Wow. So this is the past 2, well, if I zoom in a little bit, I'm at 2.5 years. And we're really just sideways a lot. Well, I guess we are up a little bit, at least, you know. Just trying to see what year that was, 2019. But if it stays up and down like that with lots of volatility, I guess that's good for income. So it looks like we were way above the 200 day moving average right now. So looking at the way it's been, so I'm not even I'm not an expert anything when it comes to investing. Okay, so please just bear with me. I'm not great at anything that I do, but just looking here, we usually stay around that. And those other 3 lines are Bollinger Bands, so I apologize. I'm used to them, but you might be wondering what those are. But I don't know. We've been above since March the 200 moving day average there. So I don't know if we're coming back down now, and we just came into GDXY. It just started at a bad time. I don't know. But we have 3 green candles in a row. Last time we had that was in March. We'll see if that keeps going there, but those are some big candles, big red candles. I'm just going back and looking at some of those. I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch it in general, so maybe it's just a glitch. Maybe, you know, because, we're seeing this on GDX, but when we look at the chart, as you just saw over there on whatever, we're only seeing this so far on GDXY. So I don't know if it's going to come all the way back down to that 200 moving day average or not, but just this little bit, the stock has dropped, $1.50? So if it did come back down there, and even if it doesn't mean it's going to bounce off of it and come back up. It may go way below it, but that's not going to look good if you think about it and try to look at that in terms of the price of GDXY. Just to come down to the blue or the moving average, 200-day moving average there, it could drop another $2.50, maybe even $3 just to get down there. So I don't know. And I say that because I wanted to look at it and I haven't looked at it, and I'm sorry for those that I could be totally off and totally wrong. I don't know. I'm just glancing at the chart. Again, I'm not a chart person. Maybe Mike, the tactical stock scalper, can look at this GDX and do a better job than I am. So maybe if y'all request him to look at it, maybe he'll do that. But I know everybody just started trying to buy into this, and then people are going to start trying to DCA. But if we have a long ways to go here, I don't know. And I say that because I bought some, right? Because I always buy some. I'm like, well, let's test this out. Let's just see. And, you know, we're already down, what, $1.50. So anyway, I'm sorry. I just got way sidetracked and off track there because of something I wanted to look at. So we're down. I don't know what the starting price was where we opened on that day, but we're at 1867 now. Well, this is showing we opened at 1990. I don't know. I'll pull the data from another source just to make sure. But on this date, if I do here, you can see here that we opened at 1990. Sorry, I clicked on something, I guess. 1990 and closed at 1985. But then, of course, this day was massive. And it's just like, it's just going, you know, I don't know. I don't know, like I said, I would just say be careful just looking at the chart and ask Mike to look at this. I probably won't remember, else I would, because I'm curious to his thoughts on that. But anyway, I stayed on that way too long, so I apologize. I'm going to put that back in order for those of you that might were looking for something specific, and I'd gotten it all out of order there for you. But anyway, let's look at the underlying. So it looks like the IV, yeah, the IV is not loaded there again. I think that was the reason I didn't paste everything here. But we'll look at the rest of it. Here's the stock prices if you want to see those. There, I'm going to minimize this in a second, but you can pause it. But it looks like our only green things today were Moderna and NVIDIA. NVIDIA is up 9%. And then if we sort this, Misty down 6%. I'm sorry. MicroStrategy down 6%, Coin down 5%, AI and Tesla down 4%, AMD and ARK down 3%. And then we have Disney, Apple, GDX, Exxon, Alphabet. They were all down 2%. All right, I'm going to close that so we can look at these. The big differences here was Coin. Coney was down about 2%. Coin was down about 5%. The difference rounds to about 4% with Coney doing better. And then we have NVIDIA down here. Obviously, NVIDIA did better than NVIDIA, and rounded it was 6% better. Everything else here is 0 or 1%, but it was a big red day today. So let's look. So we had S&P with negative 0.74%. And the NASDAQ 100 0.44% negative on both of those, of course. And then if we're just looking at the 20 single stock long ETFs at the top, 15 of the YieldMax did better than the underlying, and 5 of the underlying did better than YieldMax. So the 5 that did better were Amazon, GDX, Moderna, NVIDIA, and Block. So that's how those went. And then as far as, obviously, it was a big, massive red day. And let's see, well, I remember now, every stock was down but 2. But anyway, there was no additional ETFs here that recovered. You know, do I have it? Yeah, I have this in alphabetical order now. But, yeah, you can even see... Well, that's actually interesting. Believe it or not, most of these that recovered have still, you know, recovered initially, have still recovered. We have some not, like Apple. It had recovered after 9 days. I should have a counter somewhere here to know how many days we're in. Well, I do. It's just on a different tab, I guess. But it's down to 35% recovery. Apple is, and JPMO is down to 26% now. But yeah, outside of just those two, the rest of those that had recovered are still recovered. So that's pretty awesome to see. So yeah, those are looking good. But we only have like a week or so left to the next. Man, I didn't realize that till I just said that. I don't know what the date is though, so I know we have a holiday and then another week, so it's over a week away. I just don't know the exact date. I don't know. I have so many tabs in here. I don't even know if it's on one of these. Yeah, it's right here. I guess I should gray out May. So it looks like declaration date is June 5th. So almost two. Well, we have a holiday. So we have 1 day tomorrow, 4 days next week. And then I said declaration date the 5th, yeah. And then 2. So we have 7 more trading days before the next declaration date. So that'll be 7 days, and it's 2 weeks from now. All right, so let's go back to where we were. So seven trading days left. So there, it's possible that some of these could still recover. Of course, we're talking at the top because the ones at the bottom are on a different schedule. And then, of course, we have crash. Crash is fairly new. GDXY is only 3 days old, but YBit, it should have its declaration or its distribution announced on the next declaration date along with the other single stock. Well, it's not a single stock ETF, but it's supposed to be with the single stock ETFs. So it looks like we'll have all the single stock and then YBit at one time. Or at the first of the month, and then mid-month is the fund of funds and the ultra. So anyway, let's go past this. And if you're new and need me to explain what all this is, again, please tell me in the bottom. I'm more than happy to explain it. Otherwise, I'm sure people get tired of me just explaining it when there might not be anybody watching that needs to know. Or that obviously you need to know, but that doesn't already know. So here we have the short strike prices, or at least the maximum strike price out of all the shorts for each of these. Column AK is the number of short calls or short puts. And it looks like at the end of the day, we're only over on one of them now, MSFO, 425 at strike price, but it's just barely over. The ones we were over, Murney, we were over, and those were closed out yesterday. And then, of course, NVIDIA, we were over. Those were closed out today. And then I don't remember the rest of them off the top of my head, unless it was just because we've been red, and that's why we've been down. But anyway, let's move on to this next little section because I know I've taken too long for this video already. And so these are our synthetic positions. So this is bad, right? But most of these won't expire till July. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't pay attention here. And I say that because this happened. It's happened with Tesla. It's happened with AIYY. And it happened with Misty when it dropped, from 40 to 30. It's happened a few times where you think it's going to recover and it doesn't, and it keeps going further down past the synthetic strike price. And I feel like once it does it, it just keeps accelerating. Like the more, it's almost like the more the stock goes down, I feel like it just accelerates the synthetic, going negative even more, or as far as the value of it. I could be wrong, but yeah, it looks like we have 4 that are actually over our M and, well, some of our N's there. Murney, MSFO, Misty, and Nephilim. They're actually over their strike prices, and we want them all to be over, but hopefully they'll have time to recover before, these have to close, which, like I said, is a couple of months from now. And this right here is just, how these are affecting the stock price. So we can see GDXY, because, just as an example here, GDXY, the synthetic strike price is $38. So we are underneath that synthetic, $3.26 or 9%. And it's bringing the stock price down $1.37 or 7.3%. So just to give you an idea on how to read that. And then I can show you this, I guess. I didn't think about it till just the second. But this actually I built to help me with the data check, because there's been a couple of times in the past month or so there's been some issues. So I made this data check for it. Now, the data check, the numbers in column BS, those are actually, those are okay. This just means like tomorrow, because what they do, they'll start selling them or closing them out. Closing out the short calls in this case here. And what they'll do is they won't necessarily buy back immediately, or if they do, they'll do half the shares. It just sort of depends. And then they'll do the rest of them on Thursday. So like here, AMSI, they have 5,675 synthetic contracts, and they only have 3,675 short call contracts. And so there's a difference of 2,000. So tomorrow you'll see a trade for those 2,000. I don't think we've ever went past Friday for these not using all of their contracts. Now, Ulti, that's a different story, because they will do their stuff on Monday. But these are usually fully done and ready to go end of day Friday for the next trading week. So tomorrow you should see a position with 2,000 contracts for, tomorrow you should see a short call, a new short call position with 2,000 contracts, an opening a position, or selling a short call. And then GUI we have 40, and then PayPay 1,515, and then Squee 2,165. So, and I barely glanced at these while I was doing this stuff. It's because they could close these out really cheap now. So, they go ahead and close them out. Oh, and then we have Crash at the bottom with 30. So anyway, that's it. I'm sorry for the longer video, I am sure, though I won't know how long it was until I turn it off. But anyway, hopefully y'all got something out of this. And if you want to actually look at all the trades and the holdings and stuff, that will be in its separate video. Anyway, hopefully y'all have a good day tomorrow. And if you don't hear from me, sooner rather than later, have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Anyway, I will talk with y'all later. Thanks for joining me. Bye.